With Gina Carano's case against the Walt Disney Company for discrimination for her alleged firing from the streaming series The Mandalorian in full swing and with the discovery process currently taking place, Lucasfilm, and by extension the Walt Disney Company, in a bizarre move, has decided to use the slogan, quote, "Welcome to the Rebellion," as the studio's marketing slogan for the upcoming release of Season 2 of Andor. The problem? It's the same slogan used by the Cara Dune actress and her friend Drunk 3PO as part of their line of merchandise. Let's talk about this insult at not just Gina Carano herself, but at the Star Wars fans that Lucasfilm would like watching the $645 million Andor here on That Park Place. Jonas, when you were telling me about this story, I was like, what did the Walt Disney Company / Lucasfilm do to Gina this time? Because I was just, I mean, they really have it out for her, and I guess it makes sense because, well, Gina Carano, you know, she is currently suing the Walt Disney Company for discrimination on behalf of what she says was her firing there, and now it looks like the Walt Disney Company, well, they're taking it out on her in other ways that you might not have expected, which is very interesting. Here we go from That Park Place, and well, it is by one Jonas J. Campbell. Gina Carano calls out. Yeah, look at that. That's amazing. Gina Carano calls out Lucasfilm, Disney, over apparent co-opting of, quote, "Welcome to the Rebellion" slogan this April 16, 2025. On Wednesday, former Mandalorian star Gina Carano noted a striking similarity between the new marketing slogan for Andor Season 2 and one of her own previous tweets. In a post on X, Gina Carano pointed out that the phrase, quote, "Welcome to the Rebellion," prominently used in Andor's promotional campaign, mirrors her own previous post, and also the slogan on t-shirts and hoodies bearing her character Cara Dune's image. The actress, who is currently embroiled in a lawsuit against the Walt Disney Company, Lucasfilm, and Huckleberry Productions over her firing in 2021 from The Mandalorian, used the opportunity to take a jab at the franchise's creative marketing choices. Now, I didn't actually know we had links embedded in this article, but I was doing a little bit of research myself. Do you know that they actually have a Welcome to the Rebellion podcast as well?
Oh, look at that. Yes, I did. It's every morning on the Welcome to the Rebellion channel from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Not today of all days, though, because I think Jay's a little under the weather. But yeah, it's a political podcast, and Jay goes through stuff, and he's Jay. So you know, if you like that sort of thing, you should tune in.
Indeed. And if you really do like Jay and Gina for that matter, well, they do sell these Welcome to the Rebellion slogan hoodies and hats and so forth. They're looking all fashionable right there. But as you can see right here, look at that. Fight the Empire, Welcome to the Rebellion, featuring Gina Carano. Jonas, I mean, here's the thing. We were debating about this last night, actually, on the Late Night Pro show. And we were all discussing, I mean, is this a strategy by Lucasfilm? Did they do this on purpose? And if they did, I mean, why would they do something like this if they knew that this was going to get a segment of or a portion of the fan base all hot and bothered, especially in the lead up to their, over $600 million production in Andor Season 2 anyway?
You know, it's a good question because there's two options here from Disney. First of all, they have used the words "Welcome to the Rebellion" in the Rebels series. I think I saw Sabine Wren maybe using that phrase. I'm not saying that it's never occurred anywhere in Star Wars, but Gina did tweet out in February of 2021, around the time that she was let go. Well, let's say fired, because they were pretty clear in why they fired her, which is, of course, why we have the lawsuit now to look forward to. The "Welcome to the Rebellion" phrase is specifically something that she said in one of her tweets in 2021. I think that there's two options in that. Disney is either completely incompetent and didn't know that it was a phrase that is generally against the sentiment of Disney being the huge empire that it is, or they did it maliciously, which, specifically being Lucasfilm, I'd say that's within the realm of possibility. Look at that,
right,
in bold text.
In bold text, this is just the beginning. Welcome to the Rebellion. That being, February 12th, 2021, I believe. And yeah, catchy phrase indeed. You can go ahead and see that right here on your screen for those listening. This is, I have to think that Lucasfilm knew about this because apparently, Jonas, you were telling me there's an email chain containing Bob Chapek in which they were talking about the Gina problem. To grossly paraphrase what was going on right there, essentially attempting to figure out what to do about Gina Carano and her tweets. So they obviously knew of her. They knew of the controversies surrounding her. There is good evidence to suggest that somebody within Lucasfilm started a GoFundMe campaign in order to get Gina Carano fired in some way. Jonas, do you want to detail that a little bit?
Yeah. So here's the things that we know, and a lot of this is in court filings, and some of this is things that have been heard along the way. So sometime around the 6th day of January in 2021, January the 6th here, if you remember what was going on there, Disney was trying to decide whether or not they needed to weigh in on what happened at the Capitol because everybody wants to know what Bob Iger and Bob Chapek think about things like that. And in that email chain that's talking about that, later on, they start talking about Gina Carano and her stances out there. I don't think that she weighed in on that issue. Maybe she did. I don't know. But they wanted to, I guess they wanted her to say some things about it to clear up where she stands on that issue because everybody wants to know what Cara Dune from The Mandalorian has to say about what happened in the United States Capitol, right? Because that really, really matters when you're watching a show with space wizards and laser swords to know just where everyone's political takes are.
Yeah.
I'm implying a little bit of fascism on their part. So since I've just used so many phrases at one time, I think YouTube's going to consider this one a different kind of video.
Now,
Then later,
I don't know. Oh, go ahead, Jonas. Sorry.
now the other thing to remember here is that the stock price was at its peak in March of that year,
Right.
and now it's down like 83. It's less than half of the value it was when they decided to make these kind of decisions to let her go.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
more I wanted to add. We've now seen footage from January 7th. Yeah, that's it. We'll say January 7th. Of Bob Iger in a meeting saying that, well, when we take stances on things like that, it's not actually political. It's just the right thing to do, making his statements not political, but in fact, the only moral stance. In fact, the entire company seems to have been broken by what happened there. And Gina ended up on the wrong side of that. Why? Because she has principles that she would like to stick to.
Correct. And again, I mean, the Walt Disney Company at that time hadn't enforced any policy regarding the private social media accounts of its actors or stars, and you had a lot of people saying a lot of things about a great many a thing. Gina Carano was looking at that and going, okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and speak my mind on some things as well. And obviously, she was given disparate treatment there. I think what's very interesting is you have what I can only be described as a campaign against the fans at this point, because you have John Boyega saying all kinds of stuff about the fans' appetite for people of color within Star Wars films, and you also have, most recently, I think yesterday, Kelly Marie Tran coming out via Variety, talking about how she was discriminated against and how she was sad that was actually taking place. Again, this is all in the lead up to the debut of Andor, which is an extremely expensive production. And now you have this, which is, again, another shot at the bow fans. I just wonder what's going on in the heads of Lucasfilm. There is a segment of the fan base that they very much dislike. And I just wonder, why would you be generating this much bad will in the time when you, I would think, need all the goodwill that you can get?
Yeah, I totally agree. And Andor is a $645 million show at this point.
Right.
In its season 2, we know about $645 million worth of expenses that they have paid on this show at this point. It might have been in the can for some time, so it might actually be $645 million and no more. So they're spending on a Amazon Prime Lord of the Rings of Power level for this show that no one is watching. I will say Rings of Power actually does show up in the streaming ratings, Andor season 1 did show up in the streaming ratings. I'm not so sure that season 2 will. It might because of Disney's strategy on this show. I'll also add that I went to Epcot and Hollywood Studios within a few months of Gina Carano being let go. And the only Star Wars merch that I saw on people wearing Star Wars t-shirts was Gina Carano shirts. And also, I went to that Star Wars store that's right next to the Marvel superhero store that they can't use the word Marvel on the store because of the rights deal with Comcast. I went in there and I specifically was asking, hey, do you have any Cara Dune merchandise? I shouldn't have been mean to the poor girl behind the counter by being as specific as I was. Yeah, that Cara Dune. I'm looking all over and I can't find Cara Dune merchandise. They didn't have any of it there, which you all can read into that what you will.
Yes. Yeah, they don't like Cara Dune. The first really independent, strong woman that everybody took to. They didn't like featuring her in various outlets, especially as it pertains to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, for example, or Star Wars presence within the theme parks. Oh no, can't go there. But hey, we can steer a slogan. So I guess that's how they honor Gina Carano right there. It's just. Again, this is a shot at the fans, and I don't really understand why they would be poking the bear at this point. Somebody had to have Googled this slogan before using it in marketing, and perhaps maybe it's isolated. Perhaps maybe it is a marketing department that is completely isolated from Lucasfilm. I don't really think so. This stuff seems to be calculated, and we know that they do some pretty bad stuff over there at Lucasfilm. There are a lot of activists and so forth, detailed. Most prominently by Gina Carano herself. We know they can get spiteful. So there you go. $2 super chat from Cyrano as well. This is a finger to the chest in order to provoke.
Yep. There you go. And it's not coming from a Darth Vader. It's more like coming from like a whiny Karen in an Imperial officer's uniform.
Yeah, that's I would say that's an accurate description. Cyrano 2960 with $5. Anybody look at the minutes view comparison of Cara Dune episodes compared to other episodes without her? Interesting. Have we done an analysis, Jonas?
Well, we don't have specific figures, but we know that Mando season 1 did well, Mando season 2 did well, and Mando season 3 did. I think it might have done worse than Andor. I mean, it really did not do well at all. No, there was also a bit of a quality change on Mando season 3. It was weird, and there was like Mandalorian paintball with frog jumping on the beach and other strange things. There was an episode where they really wanted you to feel the boredom of working in an office in the Star Wars universe. I'm not even kidding. That was actually kind of a plot point in one of the episodes.
Yes.
So it focused less on the Mandalorian himself and focused more on building out some stories that really, really are not interesting in any way.
Terrible.
I'm sorry, and of course Lizzo and Jack Black.
Yeah, I had almost forgot. Thank you so much for reminding me of that incredible episode of The Mandalorian. Oh man, how far we have fallen. Mr. Blue Sky with 499. Morning, gents. Isn't it interesting how their moral superiority goes out the window when you don't agree with their politics? Weird. Yes, it is weird. That's for sure. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's strange, isn't it?
Yes, it is very strange.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.